Welcome, everyone. My name is Chelsea Wilson, and my co-host today is Dr. Jane Baber.
Hi.
All of us here at the K20 Center are glad you took a little time to join us. Before we get started, let's watch this short housekeeping video so we're all on the same page.
Welcome to your K20 Center webinar. A little Zoom housekeeping to start our webinar. To avoid distraction, make sure your microphone is muted in Zoom. In addition, make sure if you have a webcam that it isn't turned on. Also, make sure you can hear the facilitator's voice. If not, you may have to check your sound settings. If you're sitting in a group of people, wear headphones to prevent feedback. Make sure you can see the chat window. This is where you'll add questions and comments during the webinar. We'll be doing Q&A and polling during the webinar, so make sure you know where the yes/no options are for polling. This webinar will be recorded. An email will be sent with a link to the video. Thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions at all, be sure to ask your facilitator in chat.
Okay, so today we're going to be using the chat feature quite frequently. So let's take a moment to get to know some of those chat functions.
If you go to the bottom of your screen and click on the word chat, we can practice by sending a chat to everyone. In the chat box, let us know where you're watching from today. I'm so excited to see where people are tuning in from.
I know. Okay, so we've got a friend from Duncan. Hi, Carol.
Ooh, someone from Norman. Hello.
Nice and local.
Broken Arrow. Hi, Heather. Broken Bow. Hello.
Yeah, welcome everyone.
I'm actually driving and listening, so my chat is turned off, and this will probably be the last time I speak, but thanks for doing this.
Yeah, welcome. Happy to have you. Now please return to the bottom of your screen and click on Participants to access the green check mark and that red X. Please give us a green check mark when you've located these buttons.
Lots of green checks coming in.
Yes, look at all those green checks.
Awesome. So many participants today.
Yeah, great. Thank you, everyone.
We'd also like to introduce Carolyn, who is running tech support for us. If you need help, you can message her directly by changing everyone in the chat drop-down menu to Carolyn only. Then you can type directly to her in the chat box. That said, welcome to the Make and Escape Digital Breakouts webinar.
So guiding today's learning experience will be the essential question, how can you transform learning experience in your classroom?
And our objective for today is to create a plan for authentically integrating digital breakouts into a lesson that is also aligned to Oklahoma academic standards.
Now today we're going to talk about digital breakouts, what they are, why you should try using them in your classroom, and how you can even make your own. In the chat box, please complete this phrase. This session will be a success if, now for example, I might say, hey Chelsea, how will you know if today's session was a success? And she might say,
if participants can walk away with something that they can implement in their classroom right away.
Nice, that immediate application. Good. Okay, we'll wait for your responses.
Oh, okay. Creating an escape room on your own. Absolutely. We're going to go over those resources today.
Yes, definitely share a lot of resources with you.
Mm-hmm. A map. Yes. We plan on offering a resource for an illustrated how-to guide.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, making it easy to understand and how to implement it. Good ideas.
See what one looks like. You're even going to get to participate in one.
Okay, now here's a second question for you. Who here has participated in an escape room? In the chat box, give us a green check if you're familiar with the concept of escape rooms. If you're not familiar with escape rooms at all, which is fine, give us a red X.
Ooh, some green checks. Awesome. Green
Oh,
checks,
quite a
green
few
checks.
green checks. Okay, so some
Yay.
good experiences. We have an advanced group today.
So to get everyone on the same page, we have a fun clip to help illustrate how escape rooms work.
We're blocked. Okay, we have 20 minutes to find a way to untie these knots, get a passcode to the door, and then escape.
I'm excited. Are you excited? What a challenge.
I'm not excited about how many lab safety guidelines this lab breaks.
Duh, the theme is mad science, not disorderly but safe science. First, we have to find the clues. Look, an incomplete sentence. Is it a reference?
Simpler than that? I think it means left. Here's a clue. It's a picture of a mug, and it says AU, as in the symbol for gold. That must be one of our passwords.
That was fun.
I think we forgot something.
So we hope that you enjoyed that video. But before we go further, let's get a definition of what digital breakouts are established. A digital breakout is the same thing as an escape room, where students work to solve a series of critical thinking challenges using resources like Google Forms and Google Sites and digital clues to solve digital locks. The theme can be customized around your content and aligned to Oklahoma academic standards.
So we're going to go one step further and participate in a mini digital breakout ourselves.
Fun. Okay, but before we turn you loose, let's go over a few tips to help you get started. First, click on that digital breakout link posted in the chat. Once you're there, you'll see some pictures, questions, and spaces to type in answers. Click on the blank for that first lock. In that blank, type in the word breakout, and then click the next blank. Notice that when you typed in the word breakout, a red hint popped up underneath that incorrect answer that I gave you. So during this mock digital breakout that you're about to participate in, if you're stumped or you feel way off with your answers, that's okay. Those red hints that pop up are a great way to point you in the right direction.
So let's get started. You're going to work on your own. You'll have 5 minutes to break out. We'll have a timer on our screen. If you have questions, please submit them to our chat box. However, remember you're not expected to complete the digital breakout, especially if this is your first time. Like with any new skill, there's going to be a learning curve. So don't be discouraged if you don't get as far as you'd like. We are going to debrief after the breakout.
Okay, have fun. Good luck.
Okay, guys, we just wanted to pop in and offer a quick hint that maybe you're looking for words that meet the exact requirement for the 2-word lock, maybe in an article. Okay, good luck.
Hi, popping in with one more hint. So if you've made it to the jigsaw puzzle yet and you're having trouble progressing or getting started, try clicking on that little ghost icon in the lower left-hand corner, and that might really help. Okay, learners, let's do some debrief. So this may have been your first experience with a digital breakout. You likely had some moments of success and even some moments of frustration. Let's talk about those. In the chat box, please send a green check if you successfully broke out. If you didn't break out yet in that 5 minutes, send us a red X. So I know it can definitely be exciting and kind of feel suspenseful to have that pressure of a time constraint when you're solving those puzzles, especially if it's your first time working with a digital breakout.
Remember when I phoned a friend around the office for 45 minutes last year about a science breakout? It was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Okay, a couple of red X's.
That's totally okay.
Oh, for sure, especially with the first breakout. And that 5 minutes goes by really quickly.
It does. Now in the chat box, tell us where or when you felt most frustrated.
I definitely remember feeling frustrated the first time I did a digital breakout, just because of the challenging process, for sure. But that challenge in the learning process is really valuable. Oh, someone says the beginning of it. So just getting started in a new learning format is always tough.
The puzzle, hopefully our ghost hint helped.
That's kind of the only way I was getting through that puzzle was the hint.
Didn't hear all the instructions. Yes, that can definitely lead to some frustration.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Okay, so we've addressed some frustrations. Sometimes just getting started can be tough in a new learning format. But let's also talk about any successes or discoveries that you felt with digital breakouts. In the chat box, tell us where you felt some success during that digital breakout.
I know people that enjoy mysteries, they tend to really enjoy the suspense of the breakout experience and kind of solving all those clues and puzzles.
Definitely. Oh, someone said that they enjoy hands-on learning and enjoyed the digital breakout because of that.
Oh, Carolyn found the first clue. Excellent. Yeah. So these frustrations and successes, they help us move forward towards transformative learning where challenging situations can help push students' thinking.
Digital breakouts also help transform our current practices by using technology in an authentic and meaningful way to help develop our relevant skills and mindsets needed as 21st century learners.
So there are definitely limits that you'll want to keep on student frustrations during learning experiences, right? You don't want them to get too frustrated. But challenging situations help push us beyond our comfort zones and then help to create that deeper learning for our students.
And a couple of people have mentioned in the chat already that during that practice, they felt engaged and they didn't feel bored. So that challenge really helps keep you kind of in the learning experience.
It does.
Thanks for sharing.
So let's talk about what it takes to make your own breakout. It's easier than you might think. Behind the scenes, there are two components. The first component is a Google site where you can drag and drop videos, photos, and hyperlinks.
Now, the breakout that you just tried was designed by Chelsea. Now, she intentionally embedded hyperlinks and photos, which you likely clicked on. Now, it's okay if a digital breakout page looks cluttered. We want to focus on the content and the clues, not necessarily the appearance of the page. We kind of like to think of them sort of like a MySpace page.
Blast from the past.
Definitely.
If you're familiar with Google Sites, click the green check. If not, click the red X. I know I'm more familiar with the new Google Sites than I was with the older version. The new site is much more user-friendly.
Yeah, we've got a lot of red checks or green checks.
Excellent.
Nice.
If you have a red X, don't worry.
Yeah, at the end of this session, we're going to share multiple resources in an email for all things digital breakouts, including help with Google Sites if you sent us a red X. So don't forget to check your email after the webinar for those resources.
So the second component of a digital breakout is a Google form. These are no different than the Google Forms that you probably already use for quizzes and surveys. There are only two changes you have to make. The first is making all of the questions or locks required. And the second change is that response validation option, which you probably noticed in the jigsaw puzzle.
Right. You'll notice that we've also been using the word lock and clue quite a bit today. For a digital breakout, consider all of the questions that students are solving to be locks that they'll need to open to progress throughout the digital breakout. The clues help them open those locks.
There are many types of locks and clues that you can use in a digital breakout. Today you saw a two-word lock and a puzzle lock. As Jane mentioned earlier, we're going to be emailing many resources out, including different lock types like emoji locks.
Oh, fun.
Kids love them.
Yes. Now, if you don't feel like you're ready to create your own digital breakout yet, no worries. You can also access a plethora of pre-made breakouts. Here are our top 3 suggestions for using digital breakouts in your classroom. First, we suggest finding pre-made breakouts such as the ones from the Breakout EDU Sandbox website. The Breakout EDU Sandbox site gives you access to free and complete digital breakouts across content areas and grade levels. When you're just getting started, we definitely recommend consulting pre-made resources that have been made and designed for teachers like us. Again, these resources are going to be shared with you in a follow-up email, so no pressure to write this down yet.
Our second suggestion is for those of you who want to start by creating your own digital breakouts. we recommend that you start small. Think back to the one that you participated in just a few moments ago. It only included 2 questions, and we gave you a hint to get you started, and then a couple of hints as you progressed. This helps first-time users get comfortable with new learning formats like digital breakouts.
Now, our third suggestion relates to classroom integration. When you introduce your students to a digital breakout for the first time, we recommend that you have students work in pairs or even small groups to help each other learn the ropes of this new learning format. This will help scaffold the experience for future digital breakouts that you integrate.
This will also encourage students to see and think about how digital breakouts are put together. As you may have experienced with our mini breakout, this is not a traditional learning experience, and you may have been frustrated, rightly so. Digital breakouts definitely require you to think outside of the box, which is why they can be so helpful to students. Give us a green check if you can think of a student in one of your classes who would enjoy the non-traditional learning format provided by digital breakouts. You know, I taught ELA in social studies, and I had so many students that were not excited to read or analyze novels. And I think if I was still in the classroom, I would love to create digital breakouts for Julius Caesar or Ray Bradbury short stories that might, engage and reach my students in a way that they weren't expecting.
Yes. And those students who, again, love that hands-on learning experience really enjoy being engaged in this challenging experience of trying to break out of the digital breakouts.
Oh, someone agrees with us. Excellent.
That always feels good.
It does. So in my experience, non-traditional learners love digital breakouts because they present a challenge. They invite alternate ways of thinking, and they give our students a different kind of space to show what they know.
Yeah.
In our experience working with local teachers to implement breakouts in their classrooms, we've received all kinds of comments and feedback from teachers who notice that their students are just so engaged and they don't have any discipline issues all day.
And they really engage each other in that competition with each other in between different hours.
Yes, yeah. They want to beat other people's times all the time.
They're fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we started this webinar with an essential question. Let's revisit it right now. The question was, how can you transform learning experiences in your classroom? Already in this short session, we've seen that traditional content can be represented in a novel, engaging, and technology-enriched way, like digital breakouts. Now, the content is still going to be our focus. The technology is the vehicle for the learning process.
Many quality learning experiences are challenging and force the learner to think outside the box. Digital breakouts might be just what you need to add a layer of rigor and challenge that traditional worksheets or quizzes that we all use may not provide.
Right. So let's do some reflection. How can you see digital breakouts transforming a new or existing learning experience in your classroom? In the chat box, tell us some ideas. How do you see using digital breakouts in your classroom? And feel free to look at others' ideas and comment on those as well.
So if I was still in the AP World classroom, similar to what I would do in an English classroom, I would love to have digital breakouts for separate eras and time periods and use that as a gauge of what I need to reteach for my students and what content they just really absorbed.
Yes. I remember last year we got to try a digital breakout that a 6th grader had designed, and it really pushed us to break out of an animal cell. That was the theme of the digital breakout, and we were pretty challenged by 6th grade science.
Oh my gosh, 6th grade science is difficult.
Yeah. Oh, someone said that they would use this as the engage component before a unit.
Oh, and
I love that idea.
Include primary sources. I love that.
Yes, great idea.
Collaboration, definitely. They have to work together to figure out the clues and the answers.
Oh, a spin on test review. Definitely. Great ideas, everyone. Thank you.
So if you want to learn more about pre-made breakouts or making your own, please use our resource list provided in our follow-up email. We will send you not only the Breakout EDU resource with complete ready-to-use digital breakouts, but also a comprehensive step-by-step professional development activity titled Make and Escape Digital Breakouts. This activity is published on K20's Learn website. It includes everything you need to know about making digital breakouts, including an illustrated how-to guide and additional resources for adding things like ransom notes and fake tickets.
Fun. Okay, so we started this webinar with the instructional strategy. This session will be a success if, and you shared your ideas with us. Now let's try another instructional strategy that we call POMS, which stands for Point of Most Significance. In the chat box, please share with us what you think the point of most significance was from today's webinar.
What did you think was your POMS today, Jane?
Well, you know, we talk a lot about pushing students, challenging students, but I think digital breakouts also really challenge us as teachers and push us outside of our comfort zone. So anytime we want to push students to learn in a new way, we're also pushing ourselves to teach in a new way.
That's
so
a great point.
The participants' responses about how they would use digital breakouts, I think really shows that they're ready to try something new and push themselves.
Great point.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes us the lifelong learners too for our students.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so someone mentioned, you know, just pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, and that's tough to do.
Having them create one, yes, they love it.
Yeah.
They love to be able to create their own clues and see how difficult their breakout can be and who's successful at it.
Yeah.
They might even challenge the teacher to break out of their breakout.
Yeah, playing Stump the Teacher.
Mm-hmm. So as we wrap up today's webinar, do you have any lingering questions? Please type any questions that you might have into the chat box.
So Chelsea, a question that a lot of teachers ask us is, how long do you give students to complete a breakout? Because we gave you guys 5 minutes, but how long would you suggest in a classroom?
When I've helped teachers implement digital breakouts with their kids, I usually give them 20 minutes. And some of you might say, oh my gosh, that's such a long time. And then others might say, that's not enough time. But, you know, our kiddos are pretty tech savvy. And if you give them 20 minutes and they're automatically saying like, I'm going to beat that time. And then as your day progresses, I saw a lot of, well, what did third hour get? What was the fastest time in third hour? What was the fastest time in fifth hour? I want to beat that too. So it's like just an added layer of competition for your kids.
Fun. Yeah. And they're still talking about the content from hour to hour because
Yes.
they know that you've tried something new that they get to do.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, everyone, thank you for being here with us today. We appreciated the opportunity to share our strategies and to learn new ideas from you. Really thank you for your suggestions and ideas in the chat box today. Don't forget before you leave to scan that QR code on your screen and click on the link in the chat box for feedback. Also, if you haven't told us that you're here today or where you're from, please add your attendance.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.